we have now learned the factual premise that the Lakers can win without LeBron James. So if you're the guy that was staging your own personal holdout, which I believe he was, and it backfires because the Lakers are 7-2, now you've got no choice but to really double down on the sciatica.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
If Jacoby Brissett was playing bad football for the past 3 weeks, Kyler Murray will be fully healthy, ready to go. Can't wait to get him on the field at Seattle and try to resurrect our season. Now you have Jacoby Brissett playing really good football. Putting Kyler Murray back in right now because he wasn't playing good football doesn't make any sense. The perfect storm here for Arizona. Hey, Kyler, going on IR takes the pressure off you. And Jacoby, you deserve the start. Go ahead and start, kid.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Sauce Gardner heading over to the Indianapolis Colts as they go all in on this season and beyond. As I think a lot of people have been noting, that move does not just say, hey, we like what we have this year. It says we like what we have moving forward, and that includes Daniel Jones as their starting quarterback for Dallas. What does that decision to bring in Quinnen Williams say? That means they're poorly ran, but we already knew that.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
And the amazing thing you're going to say about Tom Izzo for the jump is, Tom Izzo don't duck anybody. You want to hear who they have to play preseason? Kentucky, Duke, UNC, and Arkansas. This is not the Jimmy Boeheim don't leave New York Carrier Dome Classic. This guy plays people.
College basketball today, only on
Live on SportsGrid, it is game time decisions. The streak continues as we are with you here on a Wednesday night. What streak would that be? LeBron scoring 10 in every game. For those of you who are not sure if that is still a thing. Kevin Walsh with you right here on this Wednesday night, live from the decisions desk. We have a great night of sports for us here, especially if you are all about the hoops. The college game continues to ramp it up with ranked action. Yesterday, the Champions Classic. Kentucky smashed by Tom Izzo's Michigan State Spartans. Duke pulls away late in that game against Kansas, holding the Jayhawks to only 2 points, and I believe it was the final 4 minutes of that basketball game. They get a late cover, laying double digits. Cam Boozer with 18 and 11. The ranked action that we get tonight starts in Storrs, Connecticut, as UConn is down to a 4.5-point favorite. Not the cleanest injury report for the Huskies, but at home, they settle in as the favorite against an Arizona team that has been, you know, the Grim Reaper meme, and they're knocking on the door. That is going to become a real thing for Arizona if they knock off UConn here tonight. They took out the defending champs, Florida. They won in California against UCLA. They're looking for what would probably be their best win of the season on the road, true road game against UConn if they can get it. A total that has been climbing throughout the day, 156.5, 157.5. As you look around, that's up from 154 in the market. Game number 2, 154, pathetic. How about a $1.80? And that's a dropping number, by the way. Illinois and Alabama, two of the best offenses in the country, two of the faster teams in the country, provide us with a massive total here tonight. The Illini number dropping as the Crimson Tide clearly getting some love here as Illinois looks for another impressive win. They've already beaten Texas Tech. They'll look to now add Alabama to that wall. Purdue did already knock off Alabama, which is why I think the Crimson Tide are so interesting here. They're battle-tested. It's a third consecutive top, level game here. I wonder if people are looking to kind of Zig and then zag, zig and then zag as it pertains to Alabama. They beat the St. John's Red Storm. They lose to Purdue. Here, maybe they get the job done against Illinois. We will break down both of those games. Starts at 7 o'clock with Connecticut and Arizona. What about your NBA slate tonight? Where might people be looking to get involved? You have a fascinating one here. In Cleveland, the Rockets, 1.5-point road favorites. Last year's number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, a 60-plus win basketball team, settles in as a home dog to Houston. The injury report for the Cavs is not spotless. It is mainly Darius Garland's absence, though, that catches your eye. Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Donovan Mitchell, as far as I can tell, all available to play tonight. The Rockets, no Tari Eason. Jabari Smith will play in this one. There were some questions. This says to me, as we try and evaluate the landscape of the NBA, we know who the number 1 team is. It looks like the Rockets have a case for number 2. It is either them or Denver. And almost assuredly, at least through my eyes right now, says the 3 best teams in basketball play in the West, with that being the Rockets, the Nuggets, and then, my goodness, the Oklahoma City Thunder. 18.5-point favorites tonight against the Sacramento Kings. I am pretty sure that is the biggest number we have seen this season. It is, though, almost not the biggest spread we have seen this year. I just want people to remember this. The Minnesota Timberwolves are laying 17.5 to the Washington Wizards. The Wizards have already gone to OKC and only got 15.5. So I wonder if just, the Wizards' numbers are dropping. The Thunder are just getting better and better and better. Have we missed out on what was going to maybe be a 20-point spread? Although it does seem at some point OKC is going to lay 20, doesn't it? If not multiple times. Pacers, Nets, right? Who knows? Heck, you look at that New Orleans team they played just the other night. I think that closed nearly 20 on the road. It was 18.5. So here we go. And that, I'll just remind people, we did this a lot yesterday. I'm going to keep doing it as long as these numbers still sit steady and right. I went in again on Mark Dagnall to win Coach of the Year. For those of you who got a Luka Doncic bonus bet, King of the Court, now maybe you're going to look to, play that on the slate tonight, tomorrow, NFL, maybe this weekend. But if you like to get in the futures market, I may go for another Dagnall shot. 500 to 1. Hassan Wallace, Defensive Player of the Year. We're already starting to put people out into the field. We're going to start a Hassan Wallace campaign. 500 to 1. I got people texting me. We've got people asking people about people. You know what I mean? This is a team effort here. Hassan Wallace, 500 to 1. Defensive Player of the Year. The Thunder are laying a gazillion tonight. You also have Jalen Brunson likely returning against his former team in the Dallas Mavericks as the Knicks look for their first road win of the season. They have started the year 0-4. Now, where else would we perhaps be betting here on this Wednesday night? Pretty light night on the ice. You do have Ovechkin and McDavid. We love that. The Caps hosting the Edmonton Oilers. They'll do so as slight favorites. Ducks Bruins is a late night look if you are interested. Maction is up for grabs as well. You've got Kent State and Central Michigan. Then you've got Buffalo and Miami of Ohio. It would be a mistake to not acknowledge yesterday's card. As a team, there's other things we could mention, we won't. But as a team, and I don't know if he knows this, we all rooted in UMass plus the 33.5. Cha-ching. They lose by 28. What an awful football team. They are so lucky. This Bobcats team was scoring late and often. They scored 2 touchdowns in the final 7 minutes of that game. Goodness me. 42-14. Shout out UMass. They are becoming regulars now in the best bet segment here. When's that next game for UMass? Let's get eyes on it. It's the last one of the season. Oh, it'll be sad to see him go. Against Bowling Green. Road trip? Game time decisions live from UMass? Amherst? I mean, come on now. at home against a 1-6 in MAC play Bowling Green? Oh my gosh, Bowling Green, quarterback by former Notre Dame quarterback Drew Pine? If Drew Pine is anything, it's terrible and likely to lay down for UMass. Folks, what show's more lasered in than this? We're talking UMass early lines. What? What? People doing NFL early lines. We're UMass early lines here. The Minutemen. That's what they call us. Easy now. Easy now. By the way, here on this Wednesday night, as we get closer and closer to week 12 of NFL action, target player props. Target player props. We've got 6. Streets are saying target player props needs a bounce back week. I respond by saying these aren't necessarily all getting put on the card. These are looks. Maybe the numbers aren't right. Do we end up often betting these? Yes, we do. Did the Chargers hurt some folks in the back? Yes. Did Lamar Jackson hurt some folks here on the desk? Uh-huh. But that just means we bounce back. That just means we got to figure this thing out. And here's a spoilie. Love a good spoilie. The news out of Cincinnati will be featured as a happy accident in our target player props. We didn't know Burrow was going to potentially be back. And if you didn't know that, and I may be speaking directly to a family member who I think sometimes only gets news from this show, Joe Burrow might play this weekend. We got a lot to get to. It's a busy night here on Game Time Decisions. We'll be right back.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. Yep. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I said
earlier.
He got hit
behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
When I think of the European Tour, these are the players I'm thinking of, right? So I understand why that they would be so frustrated by all this, but they also know that there are rules in place that, from a competitive standpoint, that if you're a member of this tour, like, you can't go join a rival tour. Like, there's rules in place, just like in any other business.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
The Green Bay area and the Philadelphia area, you would get on ABC normally.
Yes.
But they didn't have ABC, so they couldn't get it locally.
Yeah, it just, you have to ask the question, like, nobody wants to hear from Bob Iger during the Monday night game when 10 million people are blacked out from watching the game, and you not ask him about when the blackout's going to end.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Calci.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Game Time Decisions with you here on a Wednesday night. Looking to start to put some of these picks on the board. We're not going to do it alone, though. Mark Zinno steps up here to help us on this Wednesday night. Mark, always good to talk to you, get an idea of what you're involved with. You always do a really good job, I think, of canvassing the full board, NBA, college, NFL, whatever it might be. Let's start in the world of college basketball here. There's a couple of big games, ranked action, UConn, Arizona, Illinois, Alabama. Either of those matchups speaking to you?
I like the Huskies tonight. I actually played them first half as opposed to full game and took the -3. in the first half. I mean, you have a couple of things at play here. Look, Arizona, I know is off to a good start, but it's their first true road game of the year and their first road game outside of either the Pacific or Mountain time zone, where they're traveling cross country to Storrs, Connecticut, and where there is one of the best home court advantages in all of college basketball. But not only that, this is an Arizona team that doesn't take a ton of threes, and that may come back to bite them here as the interior defense for UConn is good inside. They should be able to limit shots, create a couple of turnovers. Arizona has got a higher turnover percentage between these two teams. But also I took UConn because guess what? I think the first half in this game is going to be the best defensive half for UConn, and the energy level that's going to be there is likely to catch Arizona off guard. Plus, their last game against BYU, Kevin, they were out big in the first half, and they kind of let their foot off the gas pedal in the second half. And BYU rather got back into it. So I like UConn overall. Look, I would have laid the 5.5 for the full game. I know that number's moved a little bit, but I would have laid the 5.5. I just sometimes feel better cutting a game in half and eliminating a certain amount of variance. I believe that can be there. So give me the Huskies -3 in the first half.
Yeah, not mad at that at all. The thing is, Mark, for someone like yourself, I know it is not only the big games that catch your attention. You were telling me there's a little late night special you have your eye on.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're not digging deep into the college basketball board, are you really, betting on college basketball at this point? You got to go all the way out west tonight, 10 o'clock start to Weber State. Now, I ask you, Kevin, do you even know where Weber State is?
You know what's funny? I've always, I think, assumed Portland because of Damian Lillard. No. And that's not a good way to think about that at all.
It is in Ogden, Utah, okay? Northern Utah.
Wow.
So you have the Campbell Fighting Camels, which is a cool, very cool mascot to have, is the Fighting Camels, who are from the central part of North Carolina in the mountains. They have just played 2 games at home. They are now getting on a plane, flying all the way across country to Utah to play a game at the 4th highest elevation of any team in college basketball against Weber State, who, oh, by the way, Weber State has lost 3 straight road games to Utah, Utah State, and UC Irvine. This is a high-scoring offense here. They've covered all 3 of those losses, by the way, in the game. Weber State, little fast-paced offense here out of the Big Sky. I like the Wildcats here at home tonight to take out the Campbell Fighting Camels, about -135, -140 on the money line. So a little late-night catch-up DJ special.
Not only do you get a pick, you finally find out where Weber State is. I truly have never known. I've always just, that's where Dame went, and that has been my entire process. NBA-wise, Mark, there was a game you were telling me that you got in on early. It's moved, but look, it's fine. I think it's actually important for people to see how things work if you want to be betting in the NBA, where one team gets positive news, and Dallas now is going to officially rule out Cooper Flagg for the first time in his young NBA career with an illness. That Knicks number in some spots, Mark, now up to 8.
Yeah, I mean, I got it at 5.5 this morning and took the Knicks because the Knicks haven't won a road game yet this year. And what a better team to do it against than the hapless Dallas Mavericks at this point in time, who are now going to be without Cooper Flagg. And so, the Knicks coming off that loss to Miami didn't play particularly well on the offensive end in that game. I know that they didn't have a lot of their starters in because it was a, home and home kind of scenario with Miami. McBride led the Knicks in scoring, and you didn't have any Jalen Brunson in the game. So as far as it looks like Brunson's going to play tonight, I think, but it doesn't matter to me one way or another. This is just about the Knicks getting a bounce back spot, going to get their first road win, a high scoring offense against a subpar Dallas defense here. I wouldn't play it at 8, to be honest with you. Like 6 to 2 possession game for me, Kevin, is really kind of where my limit is more often than not. When we cross that threshold, I start to get a little nervous here, but maybe there's a money line parlay out there with the Knicks. You can figure out a friend and try to get the dig down closer to even money.
Yeah, and I think this Knicks team is aware about the fact they have not won on the road. I actually think they'll be up for this game regardless of Dallas's status because they'll see that opportunity. Was there anything else NBA-wise that you were trying to take a look at here, Mark? It's a crowded board, but there's a lot of huge numbers on this slate tonight, and then like pick'em games. It's a very interesting board.
I mean, nobody ever says I'm going to back the Charlotte Hornets as a favorite, but you can say that when they're playing the Indiana Pacers, who literally are one of the 2 worst teams in the NBA between them and the Washington Wizards. Like, I mean, there's nobody in this lineup. The Pacers are barely fielding an NBA team at this point in time.
Yep.
No Obi Toppin, no Aaron Nesmith, no Quentin Jackson. I mean, all these guys are out. So they're barely putting together an NBA roster. Look, and I know that, there's no Brandon Miller for the Hornets, but I mean, they still have viable guys in players that they can use, in Miles Bridges and that's this is more of a fade against Indiana on a really short number to take Charlotte on the money line here.
Yeah, and I've told people the Pacers, I played a win total over preseason, can't run from it. I knew I was dead 4 games into the season because Indiana lost Nembhard in the first game, Mathurin in the second game, and they went, all right, the season's over. Tank. Be cautious with everyone. This is going to get worse before it gets better. That's the reality on the Indiana Pacers. I don't blame you for fading them one bit, Mark. Can I just ask you quickly here? The SEC's been chaos. You follow this conference closely every single year. Do you, as we sit here late into November, feel confident in who the best team in this conference is?
Yes. I mean, I still think it's Alabama, believe it or not, as far as the power rating is concerned. A&M is right there with them. What the committee did was laughable. Like, before last weekend's games, of all the one-loss teams, objectively, Alabama had the worst loss to Florida State. Of all the one-loss teams, they had the worst. And yet the committee goes, yeah, we think you're the 4th best team in the country, and you're the best non-undefeated team. Then they lose a game to a ranked Oklahoma team, and all of a sudden they fall 6 spots because, they lost to Florida State. What kind of horse poo is that? Like, it's just bad. Alabama and A&M are going to have one heck of an SEC championship.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Again, it's another example as to why doing this show and it mattering is such a problem in college football. Mark Zeno, great stuff as always. We will get you more best bets for the Wednesday slate after the break on SportsGrid.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. Yep. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I said earlier.
He got hit behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
When I think of the European tour, these are the players I'm thinking of, right? So I understand why that they would be so frustrated by all this, but they also know that there are rules in place that, from a competitive standpoint, that if you're a member of this tour, like, you can't go join a rival tour. Like, there's rules in place, just like in any other business.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
The Green Bay area and the Philadelphia area, you would get on ABC normally.
Yes.
But they didn't have ABC, so they couldn't get it locally.
Yeah, it just, you have to ask the question, like, nobody wants to hear from Bob Iger during the Monday night game when 10 million people are blacked out from watching the game, and you not ask him about when the blackout's going to end.
The Craig Carden Show, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, let's highlight some of the biggest games on this slate tonight, and then we're going to talk through a decision that I'm still looking to make around what is my favorite play on the board. There's just 2 different ways we can kind of attack it. Let's start with the college game, okay? Now, I will say this. It is never good to get, rattled and get, 2 up or 2 down right off of a couple results. Yesterday was a very frustrating day as somebody who went into that Champions Classic, the dog and a favorite, and this is just how my brain works. It's like, look, man, is this thing going to go double dogs or going to go double favorite? It feels like it was going to go 1-1, and if it does, I'm either going to be 2-0 and 0-2, and I ended up 0-2. And it was just incredibly frustrating because Kentucky played like garbage, and then Kansas spent an entire game covering only to not do so for the final 90 seconds of the game, and that was the first time that they had not been covering. So I was, still going through these two games here tonight, and I like some stuff, but I wanted to be maybe a little bit more reserved. So I say all that to say, UConn-Arizona over was going to be one of my favorite bets on this card tonight. It's our guy Chris's best bet over the 74.5 first half. I don't mind that look one bit. I like the over here tonight. However, we have seen UConn sometimes get into big games, and they are ugly. And that worried me, and I can't get there anymore because I've missed out on the best of this number. At the end of the day, the higher the total, the more the numbers can matter because it's just every single point starts to stack. This total started at 154, and that was a low number because that was about what the Arizona total was against UCLA, who is nowhere near as good offensively as UConn, maybe a bit better defensively, and a much slower basketball team. So this total has correctly started to move up. And if you bet at 154.5, you've got yourselves a good number. You have beaten the number, and you look to root that in. But still on a game-to-game basis, even if it lines up, doesn't mean it's going to get there. And as somebody who's missed out on the best of the number, I put this game to the side. Illinois, Alabama, the total is fascinating. You've got a $1.80 number here. All in all, it started to drop, and I don't disagree. It started at 182.5. It was probably a little bit ahead of its skis, knowing that people were going to be excited about these two teams and look to play the over. That didn't tempt me. Illinois does a little bit. This is a lesser number than they laid actually to Texas Tech. Texas Tech could be better than Bama. So there's some interest there. But the Crimson Tide come with so much variance. It's a tricky group. What really stands out is LeBaron Philon. If you are able to still get college player props, Philon would be the look for me tonight. I've not pulled the trigger yet, but 17.5 points, up a little bit from 16.5, which were still expensive, is interesting. 22 in game 1, 25 in game number 2, only 11 against Purdue, but on 5 of 14 shooting. Only got to the line once, 1 of 6 from 3. And that is against a Purdue team who is much slower. And it was an off night for the Bama offense. Philon, and I think I am going to play this, Philon should get through his numbers tonight, I think, pretty comfortably. I think Philon should be in the 20s. That's where Aiden Holloway's numbers are, the other lead guard for Alabama. First of all, I think Philon is the better player, but I also think we see Philon actually have the ball a little bit more. What works well for Holiday right now is he's just playing great. He's just playing great basketball. But I think Philon's a bit better. That's what's interesting to me. NBA-wise, Sam's best bet comes from the game that I'm trying to dial in on, okay? Wolves-Wizards. He's backing Kaishan George over the 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists. A Washington team that is bad, maybe historically bad, is still loaded with a lot of good players. They are, that's strong, a lot of young, fun players. They are missing Alex Sarr, though, their lead man. That can get you perhaps a big game out of Kaishan George. I am looking for a big game out of Anthony Edwards. I don't know how I want to play it. The options are over the 3.5 made threes or over the 29.5 points. And this season, if you look at his scoring, he had a game where he scored 5 because he left 3 minutes in. Take that out. He scored 15 in his first game back against the Knicks. He clearly wasn't fully ready. In my eyes, take that out. So now we have seen Ant score 30 or more in 3, 4, 5, in what is, I think, 5 of 8 games that I really care about. For the first time, though, he's gone under 30 in 2 straight. But also for the first time this season, he's gone under his made threes in 3 straight. Anthony Edwards is 2 for 22 from 3 over his last 3. So do I play both? Do I pick one? I think they both get there. And I'll continue to work through that here tonight. But let's work through some of our favorite target player props after the break right here on SportsGrid.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League.
Yep.
So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I
He
said
got hit
earlier.
behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing
No
is,
surprise.
Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
When I think of the European tour, these are the players I'm thinking of, right? So I understand why that they would be so frustrated by all this, but they also know that there are rules in place that, from a competitive standpoint, that if you're a member of this tour, like, you can't go join a rival tour. Like, there's rules in place, just like in any other business.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
The Green Bay area and the Philadelphia area, you would get on ABC normally.
Yes.
But they didn't have ABC, so they couldn't get it locally.
Yeah, it just, you have to ask the question, like, nobody wants to hear from Bob Iger during the Monday night game when 10 million people are blacked out from watching the game, and you not ask him about when the blackout's going to end.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
It is Game Time Decisions. It is live on a Wednesday night. A lot of good games about to get underway in the association. Philly is home against Toronto, slight dog. Same setup there for Cleveland and Houston, as the Rockets are going to close as favorites against the Cavs. I lean double dog, not playing either. I want to watch these play out. We are early into both of these seasons here. Don't need to be on the slate every single night. We're going to work through our Ant Edwards bets, get those on the board before we get out of here tonight. We also, though, need to start to get into our target player props because we've got, I think, one of our best lineups of the year of target player props. And the first one is one that is going to jump out as a little bit obvious, but I went in a little bit deeper on, and it's like, okay, we can justify this. And now things get crazy because Joe Burrow, I would say, in speaking to some people who have kind of confirmed that this is the right read, Joe Burrow is now expected to play this weekend against the Patriots. I know that speaks, a little bit goes into some of what Zach Taylor has said, but a full participant, while Flacco isn't a full participant, it says it's on the board that Joe Burrow plays. That makes this game against the New England Patriots so interesting. I'll add this. The spreads have moved. There were 8.5s out there, all gone. There's a couple 7.5s, mostly flat 7s. The books are saying, okay, Burrow might play. It's on the board. If Burrow plays, this gets under a touchdown. If Burrow plays, this number that we're about to talk about is only going to go higher. I don't think they can set it high enough. Jamar Chase, over his receiving yards, is a major target due to the Jamar Chase suspension. I know it's an obvious one, but T. Higgins is your target player prop due to the Jamar Chase suspension. Again, I know it's a little obvious, right? You're going to think the books are going to be settled in, super prepared, no way the number's too light. T. Higgins, in his last 3 games without Jamar Chase, 9 for 148, 7 for 114, 5 for 140. And one of those games is with Jake Browning. So if it is Flacco, heck, I'd listen to an argument. You'd be better off with it being Flacco. More likely to target one guy, lower number. What are they? The number's not going to be 115. I don't know if the number's 90. Evidence is telling me it should be. And we have seen the New England Patriots, it may be in part because they're up a lot in games, give up big games to number one wide receivers. And it's not just some early season stuff, right? You know, Jacoby Myers had that big game week number 1. I know Christian Gonzalez wasn't around. Tyreek Hill had a monster game early season. They still allowed big years to, get big games in terms of Bowers and A-Chain. But look at recently. Drake London and Emeka Egbuka, those are 2 of their last 3 games. And add this on top of it. We know the Patriots have a joke of a schedule. They've played teams that don't even have wide receivers. The Jets, I'm almost exclusively talking about you and your awful football team with no real pass attack. And that's that. This is a spot. This is a spot where, let's say this number is 79.5. I think some people will say, oh, come on, I can't bet Higgins that high. Yes, you can. You absolutely can bet T. Higgins that high. I think there will be temptations for a ladder. Let's stay in the AFC North. One of the biggest stories, I believe, this weekend. Though I will say, maybe not as big as I would have thought preseason. And I think some of that is because Shedeur Sanders, it's not the first time we're seeing him play. It's the first time he's starting, but the half of football last week against the Ravens was nightmarish. 4 completions on 16 attempts for 47 yards. Awful. Awful stuff. But it was his first time in. It was not expected against the Ravens defense that has not only been playing really well, but it wasn't a situation where the game script allowed Sanders to go out there and pick up chunk yardage against soft coverage. Oh, Ravens are blowing them out. No, the Ravens were losing the game. That defense turned it up a level, and they were all in, and they were attacking Sanders. So what do we do with his props? Do we go over? Do we go under? What in the world will this number be? I try and glean off of some of the Dylan Gabriel stuff. His average prop line was 188. His average passing yards, accounting for, his actual games he started and finished, so we're not throwing in the, throws here or even the Ravens game, 170 per game. So off of that information alone, I think they're going to short Sanders relative to Gabriel 174.5. Is that high? They're playing the Raiders. That's not a good defense. Everybody watch Monday Night Football. 9 of 10 opposing quarterbacks have thrown for at least 200 yards against the Raiders. So, what do we do here? What is that? Ask yourself this. What does this number have to be to get you to bet over? Because I think you have a situation where a lot of people are going to be looking to line up to fade. I think they're going to be looking to line up to fade Sanders. And I think that from a side perspective, that gets interesting. I think when you talk about Njoku numbers, Fannin numbers, I think all of that gets really, really interesting. It all does, right? But, again, am I heavy at 174.5? Is this thing in the Justin Fields territory? $140? Do they just pound the rock with Judkins' 20.5 rush attempt number? They're a dog, right? Like, he could be throwing late in the game. I think it's one of the most fascinating numbers all season. I really, really do. We will add in another. Man, I don't know what we do with J.J. McCarthy. It's an over or an under. I will say this. It's a hand up, and I take full accountability for this one. Everything you're going to see says, Kev, this should just be a target player prop under. but I can't help myself because I feel like this number is going to be so low. It has to be, doesn't it? J.J. McCarthy has thrown for less than 160 yards in 4 of his 5 starts, all going under his passing prop by at least 50 yards. At least. His passing prop has been above 205.5 in every single game. One game he got there. In one game J.J. McCarthy got there. It was against the Baltimore Ravens. They trailed the whole way, and he had to throw, and he got up to about 258. Well, what is this number going to be as a 6-point dog on the road against the Packers, who allow the fewest yards per pass attempt in football? I would think it has to be under 200. I mean, it has to be. But this is why I say it's on me a little bit. At 190, right? It's his lowest number of the year. It's still nowhere near as low as the performances suggest it should be. I think, I'm being honest, there is a part of me that says play him over. But a lot of the evidence is stacking the other way. I'm trying to root in $170 on that McCarthy prop. I'm trying to root it in. By the way, people, that's only 3 target player props. We have 3 great ones still to come. One of my favorites we've had all year, and not even my job. We got Tom Vecchio on deck as well. That's next.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League.
Yep.
So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what
he
I said earlier.
He got hit behind the line of
worst
scrimmage.
problem
He
on
got
this team
tackled
is the
in the
offensive
end zone.
line. Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing
No
is,
surprise.
Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
When I think of the European tour, these are the players I'm thinking of, right? So I understand why that they would be so frustrated by all this, but they also know that there are rules in place that, from a competitive standpoint, that if you're a member of this tour, like, you can't go join a rival tour. Like, there's rules in place, just like in any other business.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
The Green Bay area and the Philadelphia area, you would get it on ABC normally.
Yes.
But they didn't have ABC, so they couldn't get it locally.
Yeah, it just, you have to ask the question, like, nobody wants to hear from Bob Iger during the Monday night game when 10 million people are blacked out from watching the game, and you not ask him about when the blackout's going to end.
The Craig Carden Show, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Target player prop time here on SportsGrid. Quick side note, with the Anthony Edwards work through, I may have to have our next guest help us out because I've reached out to some other friends and they've somehow been like, hey, what about Wolves first quarter? So now you know what? I got to push that committee aside. Tom Vecchio is here. Tom Vecchio, it is great to see you as always. It is a Wednesday. That means we are doing target player props. We've gone through 3. We have 3 more to go. How are you feeling? Early week 12s? Anything? Don't like you just. Are you seeing the board? Do you like what you see? What's the vibe?
The vibe is it could be a very weird week. It could be a very ugly week, given some of the spreads that we have. I was talking with, on Brady doing the Sunday night show, my immediate reaction was, let me look at the Lions line for the upcoming week, because we very often see them blow out teams at home. And this is the spot for them to do so against the Giants.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what, Tom? You've set something up quite perfectly there then. I don't know if you did that intentionally, but it is you've set up just relax. Relax. You've allowed for a transition that you then immediately stepped on. My favorite, look, we try and put target player props together as a team, right? We do it as a team, but everybody kind of has theirs. This next one is, I think, my favorite one I've seen so far, and it is all credit to Chris. David Montgomery over rushing yards. Here is the piece of evidence that Chris added in, because I think this is, let me tell you this, Tom. You call this irrelevant, I'm going to pop up all of a sudden in that studio. I'm going to be behind you, all right? You better watch it here, pal, okay? You better watch it here, because you can come at me. You better not come at Chris. The Lions are laying 10.5. In 3 out of 4 games where the Lions have been a 6.5-point favorite or better, Montgomery has ran for at least 50 yards. 57, 65, and 71. That fits the description exactly of what you expect from Montgomery, as that Gibbs usage, Tom, is clearly up more in terms of being the true number one relative to last year. Monty still got all the first drive work and everything. Montgomery as a target player prop against this super vulnerable Giants defense that we've seen allow big rushing performances, I think it's a great look.
I would say that this is a perfect example of what should be done, where we are looking at things in a very condensed sample size of what we can make applicable to the situation. So in close games, we often see Montgomery maybe not see the ball as much, just because they're leaning on Gibbs because he's awesome and Gibbs has the role in the pass game. But when they are double-digit favorites, that's the time that they can maybe ease off of Gibbs after they have a bit of a lead, and that's where we see Montgomery have a bit of extra usage. So they roll through teams, and it's like, hang on, let's get the other guy involved. We don't need to have one guy do too much. So this is like the ideal situation of it is concise, it fits the parameters of what we're looking for, and it's been consistent.
And I don't think it's a situation where the books are going to be able to massively juice the number up just because of the spread. But I'll say this. I will say this. I know everybody has their betting styles. I know Tom will bet as soon as numbers get out there, props-wise. I am a Saturday night, Sunday morning bettor. It's how I am. It's how my brain is. I understand I missed the best of the numbers. Be more like Tom than me if you want to bet Montgomery. Dan Campbell has already come out saying, I want to get Monty the ball more this week. I think Campbell gets hit immediately, or Montgomery gets hit immediately in the market when he comes out. Another running back one here, Tom. I think this is interesting. What do we do with Jonathan Taylor this week? I almost think we could almost leave this open-ended, right? The idea of targeting under his rush yards against KC. I imagine Taylor will have the highest number against this Chiefs defense of any player this year. Now, they have given up some decent-sized performances. Saquon got to an inefficient 88 in week 2. James Cook got busy on this team just a couple of weeks ago. Jonathan Taylor, though, this season, completely different animal. Coming off a game, 220-plus in Germany, and now off a bye. I think my biggest question to you, Tom, is what do you think the Taylor number is on the road as a dog against the Chiefs?
I mean, we're not going to get a 60 number. I also don't think we're going to get 98. I think it's going to be in the mid to upper 80s. Like, there will be respect for the Chiefs. I will say some of the Chiefs numbers have taken a step back defensively. Over the last 4 weeks, they're 23rd in EPA per rush, and they're 26th in stuffed run percentage. So those things do bode well for Jonathan Taylor. Again, I think it'll be in that upper 80s, mid 80s number, because that's where the books need to put it. Like, it's like, people are going to be hesitant about betting into an 87, 89 number, but they're also never going to hang it at 65. Like, that's a clear over for us.
Yeah, I think it pushes to the higher end, Tom, to me. Yeah. I think he is just in that category, because we see this happen with books sometimes. Star players have star years, and books just can't set their numbers high enough, right? And Taylor is playing in what I think is probably the biggest game of the weekend. If Taylor goes out there and goes for 100, regardless of score against this Chiefs team, the numbers are going to get crazy. We're going to get to that Saquon status last year where we had 115s or so. Like, that's where we are, right? This is almost that final wall, if you will, Tom, of holding back, I think, these Taylor numbers.
It reminds me of the Cooper Kupp receiver season, where they were hanging like 87s, and then they just had to start hanging 99s. Like, they were getting 90, and that's where JSN has been sometimes this year. He was 97 or 98 versus Commanders a couple weeks ago on Sunday night. And that's where we're getting with Taylor. Like, it's the upper limit. And if he does truly go through this and he has like 120 on the ground, which is obviously very feasible, we're never going to be getting a number lower than 95 for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Tom, we can expand on the situation. You know what? No, I won't. What might happen is we may keep Tom a little extra, because Tom did, jokingly, but still did, accuse me of not wanting to talk about the Eagles the other day on his way out, which is why I love Tom. What a bold thing to do after clearly upsetting me by saying my information was irrelevant. So we'll talk. We have one more target player prop in the holster. I still want to get Tom's thoughts on some quarterbacks. Maybe he's sneaky, has a couple of picks for some of these games tonight. That's bad on me for not asking earlier. We'll get to all of it. We're live here. We're on a Wednesday night. It's Game Time Decisions.
Genti has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. Yep. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I said earlier.
He got hit behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
When I think of the European tour, these are the players I'm thinking of, right? So I understand why that they would be so frustrated by all this, but they also know that there are rules in place that, from a competitive standpoint, that if you're a member of this tour, like, you can't go join a rival tour. Like, there's rules in place, just like in any other business.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
The Green Bay area and the Philadelphia area, you would get on ABC normally.
Yes.
But they didn't have ABC, so they couldn't get it locally.
Yeah, it just, you have to ask the question, like, nobody wants to hear from Bob Iger during the Monday night game when 10 million people are blacked out from watching the game, and you not ask him about when the blackout's going to end.
The Craig Carden Show, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We are right here on SportsGrid. It's a Wednesday night. All right, so let's talk picks for a second. All right, we will get to the Eagles. Tom, my good friend, I need your help with something first. Before we do that, hockey, you're on a side tonight. Tell the people who, where, when, and why.
Yeah, just the Sabres money line at home taking on the Calgary Flames. It's minus 162. It's a little bit, much for some people, but the Flames are on the second night of back-to-back. The Flames are absolutely terrible this year. They have no offense, and they're vying for the number 1 pick, which would suit them well, getting Gavin McKenna from Penn State, who played junior hockey in Alberta. It would suit them well. The franchise needs it.
So we're going to root in some Sabres tonight for Tom, and then also the team in the back, because they are going to tail. So, Tom, I said I need some help. I want to bet Anthony Edwards tonight, but I'm trying to decide how to do it. All right? So they're a 17-point favorite against the Wizards. Obviously, blowout potential is there. But the spot for Ant is incredible. The Wizards are terrible defensively. They are bottom 6 in 3-point attempts allowed and 3-point attempts made against. Ant Edwards is coming off of a nightmare 3-game stretch from beyond the arc. He is 2 for 22 from 3 over his last 3. I could bet his threes at 3.5. Good plus price there. Around plus 115, let's call it. Or I could bet him for 30 plus. The idea being, if he's going to make 4 threes, he's going to score 30. We have seen him score 30 this year twice without getting over the made threes. There is one game where he made 5 threes and only got to 26. I want to bet Anthony Edwards. I don't know if I should bet points, threes, both. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I would. Part of me would want to do both, but it would be at smaller units. I'd break the unit in half.
That's what I was. That's really where I was leaning.
Most people are like, oh, should I bet this or bet that? It's like, you could have a little piece of both. It's like, yeah, you may have to lay juice on one, you get plus money on the other, but I'd rather have 2 things in the fire. And if the plus money one comes through and the other one doesn't, it's like, hey, that's a pretty good night. And then the upside is they both do.
This is why I knew I was going to be safe at asking Tom. Because, one, even this is a situation where if Tom's like, actually, I don't like the look, that would have been totally fine. But the 30 points, you can get plus 103. So you can go, both will be plus. Your worst, look, if they both lose, I was just dead wrong regardless. If it's 1-1, it's marginal, you take it. But at least you didn't have to choose kind of thing. I will just add a little bit of color here of why I was laughing on the way back in. I was reaching out just to a couple buddies. Maybe I'll get them in. Maybe they'll bet, right? And one of them's like, oh, it's a little high. What happened to his 24.5s? All right, let's not reminisce on sophomore Ant. Then someone's like, I don't know. Should we lay with the Wolves in the first quarter? That's insane. That's not what I'm asking you. Don't give me Wolves minus 6.5 first quarter. And then someone went, wow, so you put the kibosh on it, but spelt it way wrong. So it said kaboosh. So on the way back in, it just says, wow, you put the kaboosh on Ant. And I don't know how I'm supposed to host under those circumstances. I'm doing my best. Now, I've left us plenty of time to talk about A.J. Brown and the Eagles offense, haven't I, Tom? Look, again, I'm not stepping away from this, but Chris every week talks about going up against this Dallas defense with top targets. What do you need the A.J. Brown number to be to bet his anytime touchdown against Dallas?
What do I need it to be, or what do I think it'll be? I think
I want both answers.
I would say it's probably, given the game total and just how the market views the Dallas defense overall, I assume it's going to be in the plus 130s, plus 135. I think that's a fine. I really do. I kind of think that's a fine number for him. Maybe it pushes a little bit higher and you get him at 150. Devonta Smith's coming off a slow game. Maybe that is at plus 175. But just given where the total sits overall, 47.5, it is one of the higher ones on the slate. We're not going to get a plus 110, but we're also not going to get a plus 190.
Yeah, I am starting to get a vibe around this football game that we don't have to get into today because there's time for that. As far as A.J. Brown goes, if he scores, it should be in the rhythm of the offense and not manufactured nonsense or him quitting on footballs. I am a little interested, Tom. What do you think the Saquon Barkley touchdown number will be?
I don't know if it'll be at minus odds, but it'll be close. I think him at plus 100, Hurts at plus 110 feels right.
But that's interesting because here's the thing. I know Dallas's defense was good against the Raiders. It's the Raiders. I have a couple of QB things, though, that we didn't get into yet with Tom. We're going to keep him around the other side. We'll update the live board as well. It is Game Time Decisions on SportsGrid.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what
I said earlier. He got hit behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
When I think of the European tour, these are the players I'm thinking of, right? So I understand why that they would be so frustrated by all this, but they also know that there are rules in place that, from a competitive standpoint, that if you're a member of this tour, like, you can't go join a rival tour. Like, there's rules in place, just like in any other business.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
The Green Bay area and the Philadelphia area, you would get on ABC normally.
Yes.
But they didn't have ABC, so they couldn't get it locally.
Yeah, it just, you have to ask the question, like, nobody wants to hear from Bob Iger during the Monday night game when 10 million people are blacked out from watching the game, and you not ask him about when the blackout's going to end.
The Craig Carden Show, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Game Time Decisions live on a Wednesday night. Let's update your live board quickly here. 3-1 as the Caps are up on the Oilers. You're about to see the Sabres and the Flames begin. Our guy Tom Vecchio, who's with us here on this Wednesday night, is on Buffalo. So back to Sabres if you want to back Tom. We are early into Maction. Central Michigan is up 7-0 is what I'm seeing here against Kent State. And we are scoreless in Buffalo against Miami of Ohio. College hoops right now, ranked Michigan is up 36-30 against Middle Tennessee. Michigan continues what's been a very underwhelming relative to expectations start to their season as they are, again, only up 6 right now on Middle Tennessee. Back and forth they go, UConn and Arizona. That game is trending a bounce under, but not wildly, is what I would say. 23-22 at the under 8 is an Arizona lead right now. Live in the NBA, we are tied up 24 apiece in Toronto, Philly, and an 8-point early Rockets lead against the Cavs. Now, it is a Wednesday night. It is a target player props night. We had 6 of them. We've already talked about 3 of them with Tom. There are 3 we did not talk about with Tom. And I'm trying to figure out, because if we don't get to all of them, like, what can I sacrifice? So I want to start with this, Tom. Shedeur Sanders. So I'll list out some of this information again. Last week, 4 of 16 for 47 yards against the Ravens. He comes in at half with the lead, so it's a completely different scenario. It's a dialed-in Ravens defense as opposed to lax, soft coverage type of situation there. Dylan Gabriel's average prop line, 188. His average yards per game in games he started and finished, 170. 9 of 10 opponents against the Raiders, opposing quarterbacks, have thrown for at least 200 yards against Vegas. Give me an idea, Tom. What would you expect from Sanders? What would you maybe need to bet an over passing yards on Shedeur?
I mean, I can't expect it to be higher than 170-ish, upper mid 60s, 160, somewhere around there. There's really 2 scenarios that I've been thinking about for this game. It's like, they're just going to make this a Quinshon Judkins game. They're just going to hand the ball to him 25 times, and Sanders will throw the ball 24, 25 times, somewhere around there. Or they say, hang on, this is a pretty soft landing spot. We might as well let him rip it 35 times and just see what we have, because you're not going to get a better, easier first full start than I don't know what other defense really. So you might as well have more of a balance instead of being like a 60 2/3 run, 1/3 pass. You might as well flip it and just see what you have.
It's such a Tom, that's such an interesting point. You really put me in it's so interesting. Is it better for this franchise to sell out to get the win and try and gain confidence through that lens, which heavy rush attack, hope Myles Garrett is the best player on the field, which he kind of will be regardless, or, hey, you're going to throw the ball 35 times no matter what the game script is, and you're going to probably start next week too. We need you to look the part. The interesting thing is, Tom, if he doesn't look good against the Raiders and Gabriel clears protocol, I think Gabriel starts against the Niners. So Shedeur kind of has to play well here.
He does, and a lot of this I'm thinking about is like, how much of this is...
Did we just lose Tom, I think? We lost Tom. Interesting. That's sneaky. That's sneaky. Could be my fault. I'm not sure as to what exactly happened. I think we'll get Tom back before the segment is over. Oh, he's back. He's back. Tom?
We're back. I was saying that I think giving the ball to Judkins like 25 times is what Stefanski would do in order to save his job. And I think that's the rational way to go about things from their perspective.
Okay. Now, Tom, another QB over-under, though a lot of the evidence stacks under. J.J. McCarthy. I am wondering here if the Minnesota Vikings, as an offense as a whole, right? I am wondering if the Vikings, Tom, are going to, like, how do they approach this game? How do they get J.J. McCarthy playing well here? Like, it's such a tough spot there, and the performances have been terrible.
They've been terrible, and I'm not sure there is a way in this matchup to get him to be like, hey, we're gonna have you throw 65+%, and that means a lot of easy first downs. The matchup doesn't allow that. The matchup also doesn't allow a strong running game for them to set up play action and make easy completions. Mason and Aaron Jones don't inspire a whole lot of confidence. I think they can be good, but they're good as complementary pieces in an offense, not focal points in the offense. And then, some of the incompletions haven't been McCarthy's fault. There's been a lot of drops from Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. Those haven't been great, but that needs to improve. And then I don't want to say luck needs to be on their side, but it needs to be a bit of both.
All right, last one, Tom. T. Higgins. Now, This takes on a whole new life with the idea that Joe Burrow could play, and maybe that's where we should start. Are you buying the idea Burrow could be under center this week for Cincinnati?
Not yet. I think it's a little bit early. I do think it's a little bit early. I know that we're dealing with, it's not just him being back, but it's also, Flacco, he's not fully healthy. So we're kind of balancing these two things. And then you're balancing, is this a winnable spot for the Pats against the Pats regardless? Like, do you want to rush Burrow back? Or do you want to wait for another week for him to practice? Chase comes back off suspension, and then you can try to pick up some wins, because I don't know if this is a winnable spot. And that's what it comes down to, because if Joe Burrow and the Bengals aren't a spot to make the playoffs, or I should say the Bengals aren't, there's no reason for Joe Burrow to be back. But if he's back and T. Higgins is there, T. Higgins' prop should be 7.5 receptions and in the upper 70s or 80s for yards.
Yeah, I think the shame of it all is any Higgins discount that we might have been able to get is gone with Burrow. You seem to agree, Tom.
It wouldn't be there. They wouldn't. It's a combination of Burrow being back and Chase being suspended. You would never get a favorable number.
To add that to add to the back piece of what you said there, with Chase out, you knew the Higgins number was going to go up. So Tom, the last 3 performances for Higgins without Chase though are gaudy. 148, 114, 140. So to me, I figure, okay, can we justify playing this guy at almost any number, right? Listen, I don't believe in that. I know you don't either. Like, every number could matter.
Yeah.
But I figured we were going to get tops with Flacco, 78.5. And like, that number is good. Browning, Tom, started one of those games, right?
Yeah.
I think this number could be upper 80s now, honestly, with Burrow. And I don't feel comfortable with that. I don't. Even if I think he's going to get to 100, I don't feel comfortable with that.
It's one of those things where it's like, I'm not going to bet the under, but I also don't like, and I'm not willing to bet the over. So it's just one of those things where, like, you don't have to bet every prop. Like, just because we agree.
Right.
And if you woke up the next day and you don't watch the games, you woke up and you're like, wow, he went for 9 for 120. I'm not shocked in any way. No one's going to be shocked in any way. It doesn't mean I'm running to the window to bet an 85.5 or 89 number.
I'm going to throw something out. Again, price would matter. I might take a look at Higgins to lead the slate in receiving yards. I famously, Tom, it's one of my, listen, we all do this where we have a look and then we don't bet it. You remember the game where Chase went for like 200 yards against Arizona? Like 3 touchdowns, no Higgins? It's like 2 years ago.
It rings a bell, yeah.
Yeah. That was my look, and I don't know, I got busy. I didn't put a dollar on it. As you can tell, like, it still bothers me. I guess I now have to bet Higgins. Who would be the favorite? Puka Sunday night? JSN in Tennessee?
JSN. Here's the thing I would say with Higgins. I'd rather play him on an alt than his normal line. I'd rather just go for 90 or 100 plus and get plus money on it rather than whatever, 85.
2 touchdowns type of situation. Monster day. Going to be in your FanDuel lineup, too, as well. Let's just call it like we see it there. Tom Vecchio, great stuff. As always, we've got Cam Stewart on deck here on a Wednesday night.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. Yep. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I said earlier.
He got hit behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
When I think of the European tour, these are the players I'm thinking of, right? So I understand why that they would be so frustrated by all this, but they also know that there are rules in place that, from a competitive standpoint, that if you're a member of this tour, like, you can't go join a rival tour. Like, there's rules in place, just like in any other business.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
The Green Bay area and the Philadelphia area, you would get on ABC normally.
Yes.
But they didn't have ABC, so they couldn't get it locally.
Yeah, it just, you have to ask the question, like, nobody wants to hear from Bob Iger during the Monday night game when 10 million people are blacked out from watching the game, and you not ask him about when the blackout's going to end.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
It is that time again. Can I say my favorite time of the week? I don't want to disparage anything else we get to do throughout these 5 days, but my man Cam Stewart with us here on a Wednesday night. Cam, it is great to see you. It really is. You. And I will say, Cam, let me ask you this question, because I think did the fact that the Seahawks cover make up for how awful Darnold played in the game?
You know what it was, Kevin? It helped. I had a little sprinkle on the money line. I'm not going to lie, but I'm like, you know what I mean? I was trying to avoid that moment and going, hey, don't worry, everybody. Sam's okay. And then you see 4 picks. Is he seeing ghosts again? Who knows? But they're playing Tennessee this week, and that is a recipe for getting cure. Any illness you have, the Titans will solve your illness, but we'll see what happens, Kevin. I am concerned. The Rams always seem to do well against Darnold. Remember when he played for Minnesota, that was another team. I got to give McVay and that coaching staff credit. The exotic blitzes that they brought, he just wasn't reading guys. He was just off. He's in kind of a mind fog. And I got to be honest with you, Kevin, I've never been prouder of the Seahawks defense. The Rams scored all their points off turnover. And the turnovers were not in the Rams' end. They were in Seattle's end. Like, stopping these guys all the time, battling back. JSN looks great. Like, I'm telling you, there's a lot to like with the Seattle Seahawks. And, they lose the game, but I still think they're contenders. But I'm really worried about that performance with Darnold. I hope it doesn't happen again, buddy.
Can I just say one thing on JSN, Cam? Because I'm fascinated that Offensive Player of the Year race. It's really between him and Jonathan Taylor. I really want to bet Smith and Jigba because, and this is crazy to say about a player, but I'm wondering if you agree. I feel like he is going to have a 200-yard game at some point this season, and he still hasn't yet. Like, that, to me, is what is so interesting about this guy is I don't think he's played his best game of the year yet.
Kevin, I'll tell you something, too. A lot of the times, look at the stats, they've taken him out in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? There's been games he could have gone bananas.
That
but
Saints
I will
game.
say this. Let's be honest. Jonathan Taylor, what he's doing right now, running backs, like, JSN's not going to get there. I want to go to the window with that, too, Kevin. But honestly, the way Taylor's going right now and the names he's with, Hall of Fame running backs, and doing what he's doing, he'll win. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to throw money away. I think JSN's been great. I think the Seahawks have been, better than advertised. But, it's just one of those bets that despite being amazing, I don't think you're going to get there.
Yeah, I will say it feels like this week could be now or never, just because if the Chiefs can slow down Taylor and Smith and Jigba goes for $150 because it's the Titans, things could get a little interesting. Cam, before we get to the golf, I just want to quickly ask you, this Raptors team, I mean, they're turning into a little bit of a mini wagon here right now and actually closed as favorites in Philadelphia. You back this team tonight? What do you make of their season so far?
Oh, it's been amazing. And Gabe and I have talked about it. We're in a real dogfight, 36-35. Sixers lead the Raptors right now, 8:51 to go in the second quarter. Kevin, I'll give Gabe a lot of credit on this one. And that's actually what we talked about on podcast today. We were both on the over 39.5 Raptors for the wins. Live now at the books, we're looking at 43.5, 44.5. I love it. And I'm going to tell you something. The way this team is playing, all getting along. And take a look, Kevin. There's not one horse with this team. Barrett, Quigley, take a look at the scoring. It is so balanced all the way down. You could have Casey Dick in the 8-hole, and he's averaging 8. It's so balanced. They're playing really well. The defense needs a little bit of work, but Kevin, I'll tell you, if you're going to bet the Raptors wins over, a lot of people underestimated these teams. A lot of people in the media were like, oh, Toronto's going to suck, but the Raptors have a plan, and it's actually working right now. I like them tonight against Philadelphia, but I'm telling you, Kev, look at that season wins total. I think they get there. They're playing really good basketball right now. And Gabe brought up a great point, too, when we did the show. We'll be live at 8 o'clock. Take a look at their schedule, too. They play a lot of doormats. Washington, a lot of other losing teams in the Eastern Conference down the line, a chance to stockpile wins. I'll tell you one thing. The Toronto Raptors, you don't want to lay the points with these guys, like -10 against Charlotte. But anytime a small favorite or a dog, that's when you jump on the dinosaur, my friend.
All right, so Cam, tell me, golf-wise, you'll be able to catch Cam Stewart tonight on In-Game Live. So I want to get these on the board before you got to make sure you're settled in over there. He'll be with Scott Wetzel tonight. Golf-wise, Cam, final tournament for a little while here. What do we like?
Actually, Wetzel's refereeing women's basketball, I think, or kids basketball.
Wetzel's out.
Wetzel.
I should have known Gabe wasn't off. That's on me.
Yeah.
That's on me. I should have known.
Right. What are you saying, Walsh? You're wrong.
There's no Vancouver. There's no Vancouver Whitecaps game tonight that he had to get to.
Wetzel's got his whistle. He's refereeing high school girls basketball. Anyway, let's get to the RSM Classic. Is it a classic? No, but it's a very important tournament, Kevin. Let me tell you why. Because the top 100 get to keep their cards. The rest enjoy Q School. My buddy actually went to Q School and was playing so bad he lost a ball in his trees, and his twin brother says, "Do you want to break my arm?" He's like, "Seriously?" He goes, I'm playing so bad, I'm embarrassed. "Do you want to break my arm?" He almost, like they're twins, they almost broke the guy's arm. I'm like, that's how bad, embarrassing Q School can get. Anyway, long story short, he didn't make it, but he's a great guy and doing great jobs in sales in the future. Sea Island, Georgia. Coastal course, very, very short. I'll tell you this, Kevin, though, a lot of guys need to show up. Brian Harmon, I love the little Georgia Bulldog, 28-1, one of the most talented players in the field, and we're getting an exceptional price on a major winner. Next, this is the guy. This one's for you, Carver. Vince the Butler Whaley. Watch out. Third last week. I had him to win. He finished third. So close, Kevin. I'm telling you, this guy is a machine right now. Top fives galore. He's knocking on the door. Mac Meisner. Big Mac, 60-1, loves coastal golf, plays well in the wind, and at 60-1, he's a guy that I think is going to be in the mix this week, Kev. So those are my three horses. Also, awesome. Mackenzie Hughes, the Canadian, plays very, very well in this event. He's won it before. Now we got some top 10s. A very popular pick this week is Stanford product Michael Thorbjornsson. I'm actually going to take him just for a top 20 at plus money. I think he could actually win this tournament. A lot of experts like him. Alex Smalley, 2 top 5s in his last 4 events. The guy from Duke, plus 150, absolutely on fire. And you know what, Kevin? Get your flu shot. I got the cooties. Pearson Cootie at 2-1. Watch out. All he does is show up on leaderboards. This guy's been an animal. So he's been very, very good. 2-1 for a top 20, Kevin. Our top 20s did great last week. Just missed a winner. And on the women's tournament, watch out for my girl, Lynn Grant from Sweden. Had her last week at 30-1. She is on fire. She looks great. She plays great. Let's go.
Nobody more on fire than Cam Stewart. Cam, quick, anything on the ice right now? Maybe still to come?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Minnesota Wild plus 140 in the late game. Edmonton Oilers live plus 1.5. Watch out. They're going to come back against Washington. Down 3-2.
I love it. Tom Vecchio's on the Sabres. They need a little bit of help early. A lot of time left. Cam and Gabe will be following all of that action on in-game. We'll get your best bets on the way out.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. Yep. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I said earlier.
He got hit behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
When I think of the European Tour, these are the players I'm thinking of, right? So I understand why that they would be so frustrated by all this, but they also know that there are rules in place that, from a competitive standpoint, that if you're a member of this tour, like, you can't go join a rival tour. Like, there's rules in place, just like in any other business.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
The Green Bay area and the Philadelphia area, you would get it on ABC normally.
Yes.
But they didn't have ABC, so they couldn't get it locally.
Yeah, it just, you have to ask the question, like, nobody wants to hear from Bob Iger during the Monday night game when 10 million people are blacked out from watching the game, and you not ask him about when the blackout's going to end.
The Craig Carden Show, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Kalshi.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Game time decisions. We are with you here on SportsGrid. Now, let's update this live board. What are we seeing? What's trending early? Here's what's trending. Wait a minute. Oh, no. No, I don't think I have enough power in the world to get a 12-point minute 14 in Arizona, UConn. It's looking first half undy. Does that mean we get in on this over? Maybe it's a live over party. All right, let's we're tracking. Couple of updates here, okay? Miami is smashing Golden State already. It is 17-4 Miami as the Warriors are super banged up. Steph Curry out, Draymond out, Jimmy out, Kuminga out, Horford out. It's a starting five. I mean, it's crazy right now. And then Miami got Bam Adebayo back tonight, so they ended up as a 10.5-point favorite. They are right now tracking towards a potential dominant win. Pacers up there midway through the second quarter against the Hornets. It's an 8-point lead, flipping Indiana to favorites. Dominant stuff early from the Rockets, both sides of the basketball, really. 48-34 midway through the second quarter against the Cavs. Close one in Philly, 45-42. The Raptors lead in that one. Tyrese Maxey leading all scorers with 12. As far as the ice goes, it is 3-2 Washington right now against Edmonton. We talked about that one with Cam. He thinks Edmonton has some life back. Sabres, if you liked him at -150, you're going to love him at a plus price. Trailing to the Flames. Trailing to the Calgary Flames, the Buffalo Sabres. It is early. College basketball board, 57-38. That's more like it. Michigan up on Middle Tennessee. Okay, so best bets. How are we going to handle this? We are going to go with Anthony Edwards, 30+, and Anthony Edwards, 4+ made threes. We're going to bet both. I think we win both. We're going to play at half. If we lose, you know what I mean? It's not a parlay, all right? So let's just use nice flat numbers. Let's say you are a $10 bettor. Instead of betting 10 on each or bidding 10 on one, you will bet 5 on each. That's what we're going to do tonight. That's how we're going to look to play it here on Anthony Edwards. If you are a Wizards fan, then you'll love Sam's best bet. That's Kaishan George. Over 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Still to come here, late night in the NBA. Double-digit numbers in not just Minnesota and Washington. The Pels catch double digits at home from the Denver Nuggets. The Kings catch double digits and then some against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Come on, man. 18.5. That's a lot of points. Am I the only one? No, I can't, right? I shouldn't, right? Can't be the only one that's looking to get involved with Sacramento. I mean, it's over a key number. We could give up 2 touchdowns and a field goal. I'm just saying, don't give up now. I didn't update the college football board. The Maction folks are screaming at the TV. That's what happens when they don't bet Maction in the Baction. 7-3 Miami of Ohio. Hope you had the under. 14-0 Central Michigan, Kent State. Man, oh, man. I got to tell you, I can't believe Chris wasn't on the Golden Flash's first half team total over. That's just bizarre to me. That feels like that was right up his alley. It was speaking to him. He was able to zag off of that. But this Arizona UConn first half, it's 35-31. Less than 20 to go on my screen. Much different likely on your screen. Can we get a live over in this game? Arizona, I like Arizona up out front. I think that might be good for the total. 35-33, 68 points on the board. What's this going to be, 151.5 live? What's this going to be? Do I still have it? 150.5, bet at -120. That's a 151.5. This kid still got it. I make it 151.5. Can we get a 150.5 at Good Juice? Where's this number? Let's lurk. What about, wait, Temple Hofstra. Close game early, 33-31. Game not done yet. Whoa, 148.5 in some spots. Oh! See you at the window. We're going to get involved with Arizona UConn live. Anthony Edwards and LeBaron Philon. In-game live is next.